roaches!
Hello, welcome back to the channel. And let's just get into the topic, because when I tell you there is a lot to unpack and there is a lot to discuss, I'm not joking. Because I was sitting, thinking, trying to figure out something to do for a video, and when I came across this TikTok account, I knew I had to talk about it because it just struck a chord. And I don't think I've seen anybody speak about this account, and I really just want to bring awareness to it because it leads to a much larger conversation. So I was scrolling through TikTok, going through my little For You page like most Gen Z in this day and age, when I came across this TikTok. Just, a fairly innocent TikTok. She's cleaning her room. See those all the time. What's the problem? What's so serious about it? And I didn't think there was anything going on with it myself. But then I got to the comments, and I'll insert pictures of what the comments looked like. As you can see, a lot of the comments were saying things like, you gotta get out of there, you gotta move out, your mom is nuts, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell? How did people come to this conclusion from a video of her cleaning her room? So I close the comments, and then I read the caption of the video, and it said, okay, my room is clean. Now keep my name out of your mouth at Tora205. And I'm like, what is that? Like, maybe that's a friend or something who's been kind of, I don't know, maybe making fun of her room or whatever. So I'm like, who is that? And then I click on the app, and I'm like, oh, this is a grown woman. And then I go to the first video, and I'm like, oh, this is her mother. Uh-oh. Why are you beefing with your mother? I'm thinking to myself. So I'm like, all right, let me see what's going on the mom's account. So I scroll through one video, and she is in the girl's bedroom, and she's like, oh, it hasn't been cleaned in weeks, so I guess I'll have to clean it myself. And then I scroll again, another video, her talking about the daughter's bedroom. I scroll again, another video, her talking about the daughter's bedroom. And I'm like, wait, what is this? Why am I watching somebody's family drama? Why am I watching a family argument? What is going on? And I'm like, so she films herself going through the bedroom, and she's like, look at all of this mess, and she still hasn't cleaned it. It's been weeks, and she still hasn't cleaned it. I'll insert the TikTok so you really understand the tone she's taking, and that you can really see.
So you told me to go pick my nursing home out. So does the nursing home have stuff that you can trip over in the hallway walking into a room that is still verbatim really junky? Huh? I'm just saying. Oh, you don't see this? You don't see this, whatever this is, whatever this is. You don't see that? You don't see the food on the bed over there? You see that? See that? See the food over there on the bed? Yeah. So does the nursing home that you're threatening that they should send me to, does it have all this stuff? Because if it doesn't, I'm going to need you to maybe put a little birdie in their ear and tell them to rush this nursing home thing up, because clearly it's a lot cleaner than living under this roof. Yeah, I'm gonna do this until this room is clean. Yeah.
And you can tell the daughter does not want to be filmed. She does not want the camera in her room. She does not want this to be public fodder, because let's be real, does anybody want like a video of their parents like lecturing them or scolding them to be on the internet? No. Literally no child, teenager, adult wants that. And she brought up how, the mother brought up how it's been weeks and she hasn't cleaned this room. And I'm like, hey, maybe there's a reason for that. Like, listen, I understand if you're a parent, you want her room to be clean. That's fine. But one, the internet doesn't need to see this. TikTok does not need to see this. Two, instead of scolding your daughter, calling her messy, and trying to publicly embarrass her, why don't you sit her down and ask, hey, is something going on that is causing you to not want to clean your room? Because to me, in my experience, and the experience of my friends, if my area is messy and I have not been able to get around to cleaning it, there is usually something happening behind the scenes, you know? Maybe I'm stressed from school, maybe my mental health is not going well, but usually there's a reason why I haven't been able to get around to cleaning my room. Like, because I feel like most kids don't want to like live in mess, but a lot of the times the conditions of your physical surroundings are usually like a reflection on what's going on in here. So instead of publicly shaming her and stressing her out, maybe you should put the phone down, talk to your daughter, and try to figure out, okay, maybe there's something that's going on that is preventing you from going to clean your room. And that was just the first red flag. It just progressively got worse. Let's talk about another TikTok that I saw that was a huge red flag. I'll insert the TikTok here.
If you tell one of your children, like, yeah, you wore something revealing and I want you to change what you have on, instead of you doing that, right? Because I'm trying to be a happy person and speak happy and lovely of my children. So if I say, yeah, that's too revealing, you need to tone it down. Yeah, so instead of you toning it down, you go make a video on TikTok like this, showing more skin, revealing more body parts. See, that's what I mean by you have learned a defense mechanism that is just so resilient. I'm just so impressed. You probably think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not. Like, yeah, that's nothing, isn't it? It's just being young and showing your stuff, you know, doing it while you got it. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, right, so y'all saw that. She made a video calling out her daughter for wearing a bikini top and doing a little TikTok dance. Something you need to know, all of her kids are grown. Like, all of her kids are 18 plus. I'm pretty sure her youngest is 18. Parents need to understand that once your kids hit adulthood, there are going to be certain things that you're going to have less control over. One of those things is how they dress. Are you really going to police your 18-year-old daughter on what she wears? And it was just a bikini top. Like, it's really not that serious. And if you truly had a concern, there are ways that you could have communicated that without having to get on social media and embarrass her. You could have just spoken to her in private about your concerns. Blasting her on TikTok is not the move. Taking your problems with your children to the internet is not the move, and anything, you're making it worse. Do you think she's gonna want to listen to you? Now, you've embarrassed her on TikTok. You are embarrassing her. Why would I want to listen to that? Why would I want to talk to that? Now, let's talk about another red flag video. So she was making a video talking about how, like, her son just like threw a birthday party for his child and how he didn't stay around to help cook or clean, but the son is like, no, like, that's a lie. And he has to defend himself like that, because he knows that his mother is going to put him on blast publicly. So he has to step up to defend his reputation from a bunch of strangers on the internet, because his mother runs to the internet whenever there is an issue. And that is not healthy. So obviously that's not going to lead to healthy conversation. So the son comes in and fairly respectfully, I'll insert the clip so y'all can judge it for yourself.
Said that I'm always ragging on my son and that I never say anything about him, but I don't rag on anyone. I don't rag on my daughters. I don't rag on my son. I just tell it how I see it, how you treat me. And how he treated me was he had 2 successful birthday parties for his daughter, which were amazing. But the one that they had at my house, he told me he was going to help me cook. He told me he was going to help me clean. And guess what? He's ready to get on a plane to go to California.
No,
and I gotta stay and help.
Talking about?
What?
First off, she's on that line to y'all, as of course playing the victim once again.
I'm not playing the
I helped
victim.
her clean. I helped her cook. I prepared the best salmon in the world for the party. I don't know what she's on here lying to y'all about.
I'm not lying to y'all. I'm
making
not.
everything seem all about her and that she's
That's not
a
true.
mom which is unappreciated and all that.
That's
Whatever,
not true.
We don't
See
wanna
what I
hear
deal
that.
with?
We don't
You don't
wanna
think
hear
that's
that.
back
No.
talk? Y'all don't think that's back talk?
She should have showed y'all the video of me cleaning, cooking, and helping everything. out of
No,
the
you'll
house.
see the house and you're gonna see how a mess it is and what I gotta do for all the cleaning. You'll see it.
Don't ask me to do any more.
So you all
Respectfully defends himself, saying that yes, he cooked and he cleaned. And notice, please notice how she said, do you see that back talk? Do you see that disrespect? He was fairly defending himself from the strangers on the internet who are eventually going to see that video, and from his mother. And she's like, oh, no, that's back talk. And it's like, that is a very common thing that Black parents do, but we will get into that. We will get into that later. Because you need to know, her entire account, every video, she is saying just out of pocket stuff about her own children. Yet the second her children try to defend themselves, they're monsters. They're spoiled, ungrateful brats. They hate her, blah, 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 blah. That is that blatant hypocrisy of, well, I can talk to you however I want because I'm your parent, but you can't defend yourself because then it's disrespectful, then it's an issue. That hypocrisy is so common with Black parents in my experience. But like I said, we will get into that larger conversation later. Now, I was scrolling through her TikTok. I realized like, oh, she has a YouTube channel. And I was like, let me see if this YouTube channel is any better or worse. And when I tell you, I saw one video that just proved to me that it was worse. She was on, I think it was like a re-uploaded TikTok live, and all of her kids were there. And she starts the video saying that her kids are ungrateful because they don't thank her enough. They don't, and what are these things? What are these things that they should thank her for? They should thank her because she's not, she's not addicted to drugs. She doesn't beat her kids. Like, she's there for her kids. The bare minimum, the bar is at the bottom, and she wants praise for that. And the kids, they come back and they're like, hey, we don't need to praise the bare minimum. You don't give a father extra praise because he stayed in a child's life. You don't have to praise the bare minimum. Like, yeah, you were supposed to do that. You were obviously going to do that. So why should we have to thank you for it? And she's like, well, I had to give up all my hopes and dreams for these kids. And listen, yes, do parents sacrifice things for their children? Yeah, of course they do. But you need to remember, kids don't ask to be born. Parents make a choice when they want to have kids. They know what they're signing up for, and they know that they have to make these sacrifices. So don't go and saying at your kids, like, I gave up my hopes and dreams for you. This is your fault. She was trying to push the blame for her having to, like, give up her dreams or whatever on the kids. Like, the kids did not ask to be born. Having children was a choice that you made. If you felt like you had to lose out on certain things in life, that is not their responsibility. That is your own. And taking it out on them, that's toxic. That's toxic. That's manipulation. I literally don't care. That's manipulation. It is not the kid's fault that happened at all. And then, sorry if I'm looking to the side, I'm looking at my notes. So it was a live video, right? And she opens and she calls her kids ungrateful, spoiled, brats, mean, saying that they're constantly bullying her, whatever. And then the kids, they critique her back. They're like, you know, you're too strict. You don't ever listen to us. You know, I think you need like counseling, you know, you're a little self-centered, blah, blah, blah. They make these valid criticisms to her back. And she starts crying and she's acting like this is such a blatant disrespect. Like, she did not just say that her kids are spoiled and ungrateful and bad and mean and that they make her a worse person. She has said awful things about her children. Awful things. But when her children come back and make these valid, fair criticisms, she is crying. It is emotional manipulation. She wants her kids to feel bad. She wants her kids to think that, oh, we can never say anything bad about her or else this is going to happen. That is literally emotional manipulation. And then, so like I said a million times before, it's a live video, so people are chatting, people are talking, and they're reading the questions, and in the beginning, she believes that they're on her side. They're not, obviously. People see right through it. People know she's being toxic, and people call it out. And as they're reading the chat, like, she starts to realize, oh, they're not on her side at all. Like, and when I tell you, go through any of her comments, there's like few, tiny amount of people who ever agree with her. When she realizes that nobody in the chat is agreeing with her, nobody is seeing her as the victim that she seems to think she is, she's like, okay, end the video. And she's always like, and another thing that she does in this video, she's always like, tell them I'm a good mom. And she's like yelling, like, say I'm a good mom. Or if somebody brings up like something that she did, she's like, tell them that's a lie, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if you have to yell at your kids, if you have to demand that your kids say that you are a good mother, that's a sign. That means something. Now, I'm not going to try to diagnose her with anything because this is a stranger on the internet. I do not have the skill or whatever to be diagnosing her with anything, but you do not need a degree to notice toxic behavior. And she has some toxic behaviors. Very toxic behaviors. And now let's transition into a slightly larger conversation. She will defend these actions in a way that I think a lot of Black parents defend their actions. She frequently brings up the fact that her own mother was much stricter than she is with her. And that, you know, her mother punished her, I don't know, a lot harsher. And this is very common. A lot of parents were taught that anything that isn't just blind obedience to your parents is disrespect. They were punished for ever trying to like defend themselves or whatever. Like that cycle of just having complete power and control over your child. That is the type of parenting that our parents were raised with. And unfortunately, they, instead of like realizing, oh, that was toxic, that caused me damage, they internalize that. And now when they have kids, they do that to us. And because a lot of the older generation, a lot of our parents, they don't want to admit that their parents made a mistake. So it's not even like saying, oh, you have to completely hate your parents, you have to think your parents were awful, but they won't even acknowledge that, hey, they made mistakes. There were things that they did that wasn't right. They will be like, no, that's just how it is. That's just how you raise your children. So they will internalize this idea that, okay, anything that isn't blind obedience is disrespect. My children have to just do as I say, and they'll have to just take whatever I say to them, like whatever verbal jabs she wants to give out, they just have to take it. And if they say anything back, that's back talk, that's disrespect, blah, blah, blah. But luckily, this generation, this current generation, we understand, or well, some of us understand that, hey, that cycle is toxic. And I think that is because, you know, we live in a generation where we are, you know, unfortunate enough to understand that, you know, mental health is more serious, and we're starting to understand how parenting and childhood can play such a like strong role in who you become and your mental health in the future. Like, because we understand these things, it is a lot easier for us to tell, like, hey, what happened to you, parent, how you were raised, was not right. Like, some of the aspects of it were not right. Some of it was toxic, and you need to not do that to us. So this generation, we're kind of trying to break that by having more communication and trying to actually have like a more balanced relationship, because a lot of the parenting that happened for our parents, it was a matter of just exerting power. There was no communication. It was just the parent was the powerful one and you did whatever they said. The dynamic between parent and child for the older generation was a lot of just exertion, like, I don't want to say dictatorship, but like parents for that generation ruled through fear. That's how they did. They parented through fear. That was it. Like, you do as I say or you get the belt, you get spanked, you get a whooping, blah, blah, blah. And I know to this day, the whole, you know, how ethical are whoopings and spankings is very heavily debated. But, you know, that's just how it was back in the day. And now we're like, hey, maybe don't do that as much anymore. And, you know, this is obviously going to cause a clash. And I think that's what we're seeing with this account. I genuinely think that the mother thinks that her children should just be blindly obedient. She thinks that her children need to do what she did as a child, and that they just need to be blindly obedient, or that they're bad, disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. And that they just need to take whatever verbal jabs, whatever nasty shit she says, because that's what she did. That's what she went through. That's the type of parenting that she believes is right. And she is very clearly going to die on that hill. And it's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate because it's driving her kids away. It's ruining her relationship with her children. And you can really see that in the videos. Anyway, hopefully this generation can be the one to try to like really start picking away at this generational trauma, because I don't think we can put another generation of children through this. We cannot put another generation of children through that, because that is just not, that's literally ruining families, in my opinion. So anyway, that's that.
Taste you and your boss that you like that ain't no